So, ladies and gentlemen, this is part two in an ongoing series about true tales of the 1972 Summit Series team for Team Canada. Now, even before the tournament started, there was some indication that the fans and organizers were very pissed off because certain players either weren't available or weren't selected. Now, for the NHL players, Johnny Bucyk, Ken Hodge, Jacques Lemaire, John Ferguson, who just retired, the great Jacques Laperriere, the defensive defenseman with Montreal, and also Dave Keon. Now, Bobby Hull and Jerry Cheevers and Bernie Perron and J.C. Tremblay had made a jump to the WHA in Hockey Canada, which is going through a lot of shit in recent days, decided to ban those players from Team Canada. So what they basically did, they took players like Bill Goldsworthy, Mickey Redmond, Red Berenson, Don Orey, Rod Sealing, Jocelyn Gavremont, Brian Glennie. Now, no disrespect to those players, talented as they are, but they would have done better for a Team Canada World Championship squad. Not having Jacques Lemaire and J.C. Tremblay, that's a lot of offense they left on the table. Even David Keon and Normie Ullman could have played with Ron Ellis. Bobby Hull could have played with Phil Esposito because they were line mates before in Chicago. The goaltending, obviously, Jacques Plante might have been an option as well, because Jacques Plante had good successes against the Russians, where Ken Dryden had very little success on the international level, and Esposito was coming on the debacle of the 71 playoff, where he gave up those massive goals. Game 7 against Montreal, which to many cost Chicago the cup. Now, if you look at the player rosters at the end of the 71-72 season, again, there was better selections. Now, here's my thing. You should have not selected Perreault or Martin or Dion. They were quite young. Should have selected Davy Keon, Jacques Lemaire, Johnny Bucyk, Ken Hodge, players that I won before. They should have selected and get a goaltending coach. Get Glenn Hall as a goaltending coach. Get Dave Dryden. Dave Dryden would have been a nice backup too as well. So the lack of success in the first 4 games in Canada had a lot to do with the fact they didn't have these veteran 26 to 35-year-old players. They should have picked Stan Mikita, but not picking Davy Keon and Normie Ullman and Jacques Lemaire and Kenny Hodge and Bucyk. There were certain situations I saw you could have double shifted Esposito. Now the thing is, everybody was guaranteed at least 1 or 2 games, and it really hurt us. Especially playing Redmond in the first game. Ori as well. Ori couldn't keep up with the Russians. Jacques Lemaire could skate miles with everybody. And I know this sounds kind of bizarre, ladies and gentlemen, but they could have got a certain junior player that had just started with the Montreal Canadiens, but he decided not to select him, Guy Lafleur. So he wasn't even considered. Can you imagine if you would have... Jean Pronovost as well with Pittsburgh. It mind boggles, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people said the Francophone players were discriminated against in 72. That's been talked about a little bit too as well, even though they had Savard, Lapointe, and Gilbert and Cornway. Obviously, you can't pick all Montreal Canadiens or all Boston Bruins, but you're supposed to pick the best. Look at New York Yankees this year. If you had a home run derby with all the players, the best home run hitters in the American and National League that came up in the tournament, and you got Stanton and Judge, but you never picked Josh Donaldson. Donaldson can hit a home run with anybody. You got to pick your best all time. Now, what they should have done, in my personal opinion, it had 42 players. Have a A team and a B team and play each game as a total exhibition, not to manipulate the lineup. That's why Hatfield and Perreault and Gavremont Martin had left in Russia, because they feel they're being manipulated. The Rangers were not proven winners, even though Hatfield, Rattel, and Gilbert scored a lot of goals together. The gag line, of course. But Johnny Bucyk, again, there were certain situations in Russia, Busyk's cool hand would have dealt with it, because Bucyk took the worst of the Boston Bruins and turned them into winners. He would have done quite well. And he knew how to play, in the corners, playing in Boston Garden, the smaller rinks in Canada. Now, another thing that really hurt Canada as well, some of these games should have been played in the States, and let's pause for a second. Madison Square Garden and Boston Garden would have been perfect venues for Canada to practice in the smaller rinks and to play bigger internationally. Madison Square Garden was a big rink. But in my personal opinion, not having Bobby Hull, not having Jerry Cheevers, not having J.C. Tremblay, David Keon, and Jacques Lemaire cost them 2 games. There's no way Team Canada should have lost any more than 2 games against the Russians in 1972. We had the firepower, and people say, well, the players were out of shape. Why did Montreal Canadiens win in 77? Jacques Lemaire and Guy Lafleur. Why did he win in 79? Jacques Lemaire and Guy Lafleur. You see a trend here. Davy Keon, the 4 cups in the 1960s. Who did that? Davy Keon. 2 of the cups that Boston won in the early 70s. What was a big factor? Esposito. Bobby Orr was injured, of course, but Johnny Busick was a number 3. Ken Hodge was good too. Don't get me wrong, it was good to have Cashman, but I don't know. It's pretty confusing. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of politics. There's talk over the years that this wasn't a true Team Canada, and it wasn't. It just the available players, and Hockey Canada, Alan Eagleton was deciding. So that's the latest on my podcast series, True Tales of Summit Series 72. We're going to be looking at, not say known facts, but facts that may have been forgotten. I know a lot of people didn't believe me when I said Cornway kicked back against Mihailov in Game 7. Yes, he did. And one of my followers in the channel, Woodstock, New Brunswick, said, it took you that long to do that podcast, Jeffrey? So if you have a request specifically on Summit Series 72, maybe some unknown facts you'd like to share with our listenership, please let us know. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, as we like to say in Northern New Brunswick, there's no kicking in hockey. Thanks for listening. Bye.